Hey guys, I'm Ollie Proudlock, and today I'm on the Pints and Ponytails show. Yeah, baby. The most important thing is I'm a dad. That's what I see right now in my life.
I think you're eating an apple.
Oh, what? So if you passed me like this and I went...
Ashamed, think something new under the sun. First things first, Ollie.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Buddy. Thank you so much for coming on.
For coming down.
Welcome to the Pints and Ponytails show.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, that's good.
That's a good way to start a show.
Oh, guys,
That
let's
is
go.
good. That is good. All right, Ollie, so the setup of the show, how it's going to work.
Yes.
We've got 4 different hairstyles, as you can see.
Wow.
Well, there's a few more there, actually. 4 or 5 different hairstyles. What we're going to do is we're going to teach you different hairstyles.
Okay.
But the hairstyles are going to get progressively harder and harder.
This is very me. This is very me here.
Nice.
Nice, okay.
So we've got the ponytail, 3-strand plait, bunchies, pigtails, and then we've got the fishtail plait at the end.
Dude, the fishtail plait is pretty intense.
Yeah, it's quite intense. Some dads love it. Some dads, you can see the fingers and the brain is going at a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
But what also we're going to do, Ollie, a big part of this show is just understanding you as a person, understanding you as a dad.
Of course.
How you find being a father. So the questions are progressively going to get a bit more challenging.
It's going to be even harder for me to even think about your questions.
Yeah,
I'm
when you're
trying
locked
to
in.
just work out the lid.
Exactly.
Well, we'll go for high pony,
Okay.
which is around about the crown.
Yeah.
So first of all, the brushing, it sounds like a really kind of boring element, but it's one of the
important.
fundamentals. So the first thing we want to do is hold the hair midway and just brush the ends out.
Okay.
So we're just getting rid of any knots that you have in this end section.
See, this is my daughter hates this, you know?
Yeah.
Because when
But
it's
you know,
really...
a lot of the time, like when I used to do this as well. I used to do the traditional. I would start the brush at the top of the head, and I'd take it down, and you'd get like the yank backs.
the tugging.
Yeah. So if you always start from the bottom and brush the hair out.
This
from
hair's
the
so
bottom,
soft. What have you been conditioning this?
Actual human hair.
What?
Real hair. If your daughter had full access to the English language and she could use any word she wanted, how would she describe you as a dad?
Papa's... She thinks I'm pretty funny, so she's always like, Papa's so funny.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. I like that.
Does she call you Papa?
Yeah, Papa. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I kind of... It's funny.
I get poo-poo head.
You get poo-poo?
I get poo-poo.
So yours is poo-poo head?
Yeah.
What's yours?
I'm just poo-poo. Just
Yeah,
poo-poo.
okay.
Just
How
poo.
funny that you both have poo-poo. Yeah. Why is that?
No
I
idea.
don't know. It's just they think it's like a funny word to them, isn't it?
But also an insult. It's their way of testing out their power over
Exactly.
you.
I'm quite happy with that, lads.
That looks
Is that
great.
all right?
It's good.
That's a great ponytail.
This is level 1. So
Yeah.
before we move on to level 2.
I like level 1.
Level 1's nice and easy, but you've got one more question to ask before we move on to level 2.
Okay.
What has surprised you most about fatherhood?
What has surprised me the most? I mean, people talk about the love, but I think until you really experience it, especially I think with your first child, like that, it's the overwhelming sense of love and like protection and I will literally do anything for you. Do you know what I mean? It's a really insane sensation and feeling, but until you go through that, I don't know if you guys felt the same, but like until you go through it, you just can't even explain it.
Is fatherhood almost coaxed out of you access to parts of you didn't know existed before?
Definitely made me more emotional, more in tune with my emotions, for sure. I've spoken about this before. I think as guys, we keep up this wall, and there are stages in your life, and for me, there have been a few that have slowly helped me drop that wall. My dad dying, meeting my partner, and then having my first child.
That leads on to the next question perfectly, but the next question exists at level 2. Which
I was hoping we could talk. I was hoping we could just keep talking.
The 3-strand plait, Ollie. This is a big moment, dude. Okay, so 3-strand plait is great for preventing any tangles.
Yeah.
If we don't have tangles, hopefully we don't get tantrums as well. Okay. If
Yeah.
you take your daughter swimming, it's great to pop in a plait. Just because when you come out of the pool as well, it's just easy, no tangles, hopefully no problems. What we're gonna do is, I'll twist mine round a bit so you can see. Sorry, Lawrence. I'm gonna come over here. So 2 fingers come up through. We're gonna get the V with our fingers.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna pop through the back of the ponytail like that.
Yep.
Nice. And then what you want to do, you want to try and get 3 even strands.
Okay.
Okay. So 3 even strands as you can, even if you have to pull some of the hairs across here.
Okay.
There we go. I'll stand up with you.
This is a good one to stand, I feel.
Yeah,
so you can really
good.
see.
Nice. Always with the 3-strand plait, we're going to keep our hands high, okay? The moment that we drop our hands, keep it low, we lose all tension. Okay? There we go.
Bonnie right now be like, Papa, stop, why are you pulling my hair so tight? She'd be like, Dad.
So when you became a father, did it change the way that you in turn viewed your father?
For sure. I think as well, like, my dad's obviously not here anymore, but I had an amazing relationship with him that kind of grew as we got older, because my parents divorced when I was very young, so I grew up with my mum and my dad was in London. So, you know, growing up, I didn't have that male figure around me day to day. Obviously, I saw him on the weekends, every other weekend, I think it was. But I think, you know, I obviously craved that. I really wish he was around more. And since becoming a dad myself, like, I've obviously thought a lot about my childhood and things have come to the surface again. And I think the main thing for me is being present, because obviously my dad wasn't present that often.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, you know, time is so precious and it's prioritizing things. And obviously I've got to do my work, but making sure that I'm as present as I can possibly be, because I just don't want to miss a moment. I mean, you guys know how fast it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, your daughter now 9.5, it's
That's
like
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
So I don't know about for you guys, but I just want to be there as much as I can. So that for me is like my number one. Obviously,
I feel like that's a huge part of the almost mass consciousness of modern fathers now, is that they want to be intentionally more present
and more hands-on, I think.
more
as well.
hands-on. And I feel like, I don't know if it's since COVID or whether it's just a cultural shift, the more conversations have happened in this area online, but I think most people just feel that when it comes to work and dedicating themselves to their professional vocation, it's not worth the trade-off of completely sacrificing being with your kids.
You know, Emma and I, my wife, we're very lucky that we're in a similar sort of workspace and we can really take time, you know, and, you know, when Bonnie was born, we both took pretty much 6 months off work together and we did it together as a team as much as we could. So we're very lucky in that sense. And like, we both want to be really hands-on. We both want to be a team as much as we can. And you know, I just want to try and share the load as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard in those first few months, but like, just making sure that I'm there to support her and be there for my kids as much as I can.
Did this help you as a maternity leave, or the lack of it? Britain's got the worst maternity leave in Europe, but and that leads to often the mother becoming the default parent, because in those early months everything's put on them, and then that becomes the default for the family and the way that the children respond and interact. But having both taken 6 months off and having had that paternity leave, do you feel like you've navigated that in a different way?
I mean, I think so. I mean, it's hard for me to compare it to someone else because that's my journey and I haven't done it any other way. I just feel lucky that I've been able to do that. And, you know, to really kind of, to have been there through all those moments. And like, I just couldn't imagine it any other way.
How has your relationship with Emma evolved since becoming parents?
I think we've got just stronger. You know, I think, you know, there's no doubt there's been tough times, of course, but going back to what I said earlier, like, we are a team and we've always been that way. And, you know, she's my best friend above anything else. And she's just the greatest mum. So I'm just like so grateful to be on this journey with her because I've seen her evolve as a human being and just to see her become this incredible mum. And that's just made me fall in love with her even more, do you know what I mean? So I just feel incredibly lucky. And to see how much they look up to her and how much they love her is just like the greatest thing ever.
The emotional weight that they carry.
Oh, it's so,
I always remember,
it's
like,
so much.
Yeah, when my
It's
daughter
so
was
much.
first born, I could kind of just leave the house and go. Jess and I spoke about this. She was like I could never just leave. Like, that my brain would always be working, and it's just like this constant marathon. I think for mums.
Yeah.
I think dads, we can choose our moments to go and like
disconnect.
decompart and disconnect, but I think it's always there for mums.
Oh, when they've had that connection with their body, unbelievable.
I did. Level 3.
two
If you
done.
wanted to
Right.
quickly do a bun, you could twist it through there if you wanted to.
yeah, nice.
And wrap it round there.
Yeah, I like
just in
that.
case you wanted to throw that.
Yeah, I
you
like
throw
that.
You can have
the
that
bun's
one, dude.
nice. Can I just
There
have
we
a
go.
quick look at yours, lads?
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's quite fiendish.
That looks
Fair.
good. Yeah,
Well,
that's a good
I was in
one.
the zone.
You were locked in.
But this is level 2 done.
Well, there we go.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's all right. I think I got that locked.
Well done, dude. All right,
better
level
next time.
3. All right, bunchies.
Okay, bunches.
Right,
So
ready?
let's undo it. So
Undo all the good work.
How are you feeling confidence-wise when it comes to level 3?
No, I think we'd be all right.
Okay?
Yeah, man.
Good.
We got this.
We're good. We got this.
So, again, I've just faced my mannequin towards you. So we just want to go directly between the eyes, just above the nose.
Never go in the eyes.
Never actually in the eyes.
No,
actually.
that's not ideal.
And then just going to start to separate the hair away. And just
Who needs the gym?
Exactly.
Keep separating the hair off to one side,
Yeah.
all the way down to the back, the base of the neck. And once you've done that, grab one of the thicker bands, and we just want to keep that hair out of the way. We're not really worried about if it's messy or not, so just do a double figure of 8.
How did you find the transition from 1 to 2? Because we've asked people this before. Is it hard
Yeah.
to
So
go?
that was like panic in your
Yeah,
Tell
do you
me.
know what?
Yeah.
There's no, like, I always think with these things, it's good to be honest. Obviously, it's a clear jump, like it's a big change.
Yeah.
For sure. 1 to 2 is a big change.
Isn't good, Ollie? You know?
Yeah, no, but I always think in these situations, it's much better to go into it thinking
man.
the worst.
Yeah.
Because then it can only
Definitely.
be better,
Yeah.
as opposed to going into it thinking this is going to be a breeze.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're like, oh my god, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
So I always think prepare for the worst, and then
Yeah.
you know it will not be the worst. It will be sweet.
Oh,
It's very stoic. very stoic.
Yeah, it's quite
very
stoic, yeah.
You can start plaiting these, by the
Okay,
way, whilst we talk.
Obviously the shift from 1 to 2, but also the shift from 0 to 1. Has that changed your relationship with your own mental health, becoming a father?
I think I've definitely found it harder with having our second child, and you know, I spoke about earlier trying to be as present as possible, and then what I have found quite hard is staying on top of everything else, because obviously having 2 is you got a lot more on your plate, and I've found there have been times, especially I think, you know, he hasn't been the greatest sleeper in compared to what Bonnie was.
That's
I think we
super
got quite
tough,
lucky
isn't it?
with Bon.
Yeah.
And I think when the sleep starts going and both you and your partner are just so exhausted, and then you're also having to look after your other child who's energetic, and you having to be, and you want to be on form for them.
Yeah.
Because at least when you have your first, if you're both not sleeping, or you know what, you do one night, one off, and you share the load, at least then you can get through it.
Yeah.
So I've definitely, both of us have found that a bit harder, and just kind of staying on top of everything and, you know, juggling everything. But, you know, you just kind of,
Find a way.
Do you talk to anyone in particular? Is there someone you go to when it comes to discussing your mental health?
Do you know what? Like, I have to be honest, I have been bad, and there have been moments where I've probably buried certain feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
Mainly because there was just so much going on, and I felt like there were times where, like, no, look, I've just got to be strong, let's get through this, let's be quite pragmatic about everything, like, and I probably should have.
Can you tell when either one of you are struggling? Like, would you be able to tell?
Yeah, I think we
You
can.
read each other
We
pretty
can
well.
read each
Yeah.
other pretty well. You know, then also I have some buddies of mine who I now chat to, and I remember there was a moment actually, and it was I think it was October last year, and I hadn't really seen any of my buddies. Like, you know, both Emma and I had just been like in it, being parents and trying to stay on top of work, and we hadn't really kind of gone out and seen friends or anything like that. And I've noticed I hadn't checked in on a lot of my buddies. And I messaged a group of my mates, and I was like, guys, like, how is everyone? And why don't we go for a dinner? And we went for a dinner, and there were 4 of us. And these other guys that I'm with are all like strong dudes, you know, like not very emotional guys. And within the first 15, 20 minutes, we're all in tears.
Really?
And like everyone was going through something. And it was like, all of us left that dinner and we were like, oh man, we can breathe. And everyone felt
Just
a
like
huge
weight.
weight,
Yeah,
you know? And like everyone was going through different things. But the fact that we all sat around that dinner table and we all shared our truths and we all recognized the fact, God, we're all going through it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think you've got to recognize that we're all going through different things, but everyone's going through something. And, you know, there's power in sharing your truth.
There's a part that also doesn't want to be a burden
Yeah.
on my wife, on my
Totally,
family.
Yeah.
totally.
And so you hold it in and
Totally, because
it's
there's
not-
enough going on anyway. It's like,
Yeah.
why should I bring up like, we're all going through it. Like, I don't want to suddenly bring it down.
Yeah,
I've always
yeah,
been a
yeah.
person who tries to stay upbeat and positive. Like, I'm a real believer in energy, and like, I always want to make people feel good, and I always want, like, that's why I've got these 2 pluses on my thumbs to always remind myself to be positive. So like cool. I've always had that thing, even in moments where I felt a bit down. And I remember growing up with my mum, and she went through loads of ups and downs, and she always used to tell me, just always be positive.
Being a man and having that healthy masculinity is being able to sometimes hold the challenges that you're feeling and show up as the rock for your family.
Yeah.
But then being able to go away and take refuge with your guy mates who see you because they maybe have a similar experience of fatherhood, let's say in this instance, and that is a time where you can really, just as you did in that dinner with your friends.
Oh, it was amazing, man. And we're all in a group now, and we all check in with one another, and like, you know, I'm sure you guys have a similar sort of thing. And I feel a lot of guys now have that, you know, a group of buddies, and they all check in and make sure everyone's okay.
They do, and they don't as well, because we found with our events there are a lot of lonely dads as well. Because you know, you enter into the lonely chapter where you're very busy on the treadmill of life and duty, whether it's your duty at home or a duty at work, particularly. But you're never really connecting with anyone on a deep level. So it feels like that connection isn't quite there. And so we've had dads turn up to say they feel lonely, and one of the big motivations of coming to the events is just to
be around
other people, be around other men.
Mine's called Stacey.
Stacey's
hair is a little bit.
Mine can be Stacey's mum.
There we go.
There we go.
Stacey's hair's a little bit dry, on the edges.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It's about making an effort, and like, I think life is often about stepping out of your comfort zone. Because I think as we get older, you know, when you're a child, and this is why I love seeing my kids growing up, is, you know, they're not afraid to try anything or like to be shamed or whatever it is, you know, they're just them. And as we get older, we get caught in our ways a little bit. We only like to do the things that we know how to do. And like, we don't like to look silly, or we don't like to try something that we're not good at. And that's a particular part of our brain. And apparently, if you stop testing and trying new things, that part of your brain actually can disappear over time. So I remember in lockdown, I was listening to a podcast and someone was saying that, and I ended up going and buy a guitar. I was trying to learn how to play the guitar in lockdown, played like once, and that was like a waste. But I do think it's so important in life, whatever it is, to step out of your comfort zone. Dude, when Bonnie goes to nursery rocking this, everyone's going to be like, I want that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be setting the trend.
All right. You're doing very well. It means you've completed that level.
Oh, guys, let's go.
Well done. I think we have a cheers to that.
Cheers,
well
lads.
done.
Cheers,
You've got pigtails.
Come on, baby.
Well done. Right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, the final section. I'm sorry, mate, but we're going to have to take your pigtails out.
Okay.
We're going to go into the fishtail, okay?
You've gone quite low on that.
Yeah, only because when it comes to the fishtail, which Matt's going to show you now, you need a lot of patience, and I ain't got
I have a little patience.
Dude, I tell you, that's another thing I've learned since having kids.
Yeah.
Patience.
So with the fishtail, we're just going to split the ponytail in half. Okay. It's weird. Some people find the fishtail easier than the three-strand part. We have dads that just take to it. So we're going to nice even split. So we've got 2. Yeah. Now taking your forefinger on this side, you're going to pop it through one of the strands, and I just want you to take a bit of the hair.
Like so, just a small amount?
Just a small amount, okay? Like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pass that bit over, and it's going to join this one here. So you pass it over, I grab it, and now that has now joined over this one. Okay?
Is that too much? Should I go thinner?
That's okay. Yeah? That's okay. So basically, mate, the thinner you do it, the longer it's going to take.
Right.
The thicker it is, the quicker you do it. And then you're going to take your left forefinger, and you're just going to take a bit of hair on that side. Again, poke it through.
Wow.
And you're going to twist pass it over, and that now becomes the other strand. You got it?
Is that going under there, and then
that's going over the top? Yeah. So it grabs it, and you should almost see that like X formation that's kind of starting. Generally in our events, how it works is that people come in, there's like this nervous energy, and they're like, oh God, like this is it's a bit strange walking into a room full of dads that you don't know.
Right.
There's a bunch of mannequins, there's this nervous energy, it's quite palpable. But then what we notice is that a lot of the dads, like you have now, just gonna be a little bit quiet.
This is when it just goes silent.
Just start to lock in, the hands, the body takes over. And you just take your time doing with the fishtail part. So by the end of the classes, like the rooms are generally, you could hear a pin drop.
How important, or how much of an opportunity do you think that we have as fathers to model the future that we want to see? You know?
I think so. I think for sure. I think you're completely right. You know, they're like sponges, right? So everything they hear or they see, they're taking it all in.
Dads are hugely responsible for a girl's self-esteem as they grow up through exactly that.
Yeah.
Through the way they see their father lead, the way they are treated by their fathers, because it becomes you're their first experience, or our daughters
Of masculinity.
the first experience of masculinity, and so their expectations of how they want the men in their life to show up. It's going back to that piece about educating and understanding what the other person's going through, so that you can communicate better.
That's
and that
it.
opens the door to...
Dude, that's it. Because at the end of the day, like, the closer that you and your partner can become and more comfortable in terms of communicating and get a better understanding of how the other person's feeling and their emotions and getting a better understanding of their period, all these sort of things, you're only going to become a better team.
Yeah,
and you as a team, you're the foundation of your family. So if the foundations are great, then everything else is going to be great. You know, it's like so important, man, to get those foundations right.
How you doing, man?
I freestyled a little
There
bit.
we go. Man, we got
I just did, I don't know what happened there.
I like that.
But this, I thought, we just freestyled it.
Just freestyle.
So she's gone a little niche, but I always you got to keep it niche, you know.
Exactly.
There's a bit of character in that.
Dude.
Guys, those look amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see yours, bro.
See, I got lazy at the end.
Yeah,
Lazy at
dude,
the end.
you're really good at that.
The Fishtail, I do this one
Dude,
quite a lot.
this is your jam.
He's the king of the fishtail.
Yeah, he's the king of the Fishtail. I feel like you were the plait.
You're the plait guy.
Yeah. And this,
I like
I'm not
it.
sure what this is, but it's like a hybrid.
That's beautiful.
We'll call that the Ollie. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Guys, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. We hope you've learned some good skills, a playbook. So if you do go home tomorrow, you've got a playbook to go through. And all we would say, like with the hair thing as well, is that it's very easy to go home and then just let your partner just continue doing it because it's her space. But just start with the ponytail. If you have confidence around that, then your daughter will give you permission to step into that space.
Don't worry,
and we hope that then opens up the door for communication. That 5 minutes every day, every now and then, Ollie should compound over time as well. More
Guys, I'm gonna lean in
and
and I'm gonna tell my daughter all about these two amazing dudes that taught me how to do this. And then I'm gonna go to level 6.
Yeah.